For a long time, we've treated AI like a very advanced search engine. You ask a question, it gives an answer, and the interaction typically ends there. Today, I want to show you what a collaboration looks like in practice. We're going to take a raw idea, a coffee shop concept called Nebula Roast, and we're going to build it out completely. We'll draft the business strategy, we'll design the visual brand, and we'll code the landing page as well. And we're going to do it all in one continuous workflow, keeping the context alive from start to finish. We can use the Canvas interface today in Google's Gemini. Think of it less like a chat window and more like a shared whiteboard between you and a trusted collaborator. By the end of this video, you'll be able to create a strategy, develop the visuals, and build a landing page for your website. So let's build. Every good project starts with a clear intent. We don't just want to talk about coffee. We want to start building the business. So what we're going to do here is use the Google Gemini interface. And first of all, we're going to select tools and we're going to go to Canvas. I'll go into a deep dive on some of these other settings in a different video, but for now, we'll just pop it onto Canvas and I'll show you why in a second. Over here, we've got different options, so fast, thinking, and pro. For this example, I'm going to use thinking. This is what I use for most of my everyday interactions with Gemini, and it's really good. Fast is very good just for quick interactions, and pro is much better for coding, HTML, JavaScript, that type of thing. So for now, I'm just going to select thinking here. So here's the prompt. We're telling Gemini that we want it to be a senior brand strategist and CFO. And then we're telling it our expectations. What do we want it to give us in this strategy that we're going to develop together? I've also put in here a bit about us because then it gives it context. What we'll do now is we'll click on submit and it will start building out the strategy for us. And because we've selected Canvas, it will build the strategy in the document over here that we can now collaborate on together. And now that it's finished, we've got a full strategy that we can now work on collaboratively with Google Gemini. So you can see here we've got the brand identity, we've got the tone of voice, the marketing strategy and sales tactics, the financial strategy and overview, revenue, costs, net profit, and some notes as well. But we might think there's a little bit missing here. So what we want to do is we want to update this. So this is where the collaboration comes in, because now I've added it in. I want it to give us a bit more detail on the financial forecast. I feel that it's missing a few things in terms of what volumes should we be expecting, what are the operating costs that we could expect, and what are the fixed and variable costs as well. So it was really thinking in a great way on the branding and the rest of the strategy, but I felt that the financial strategy was a little bit hit and miss. So now here we can see that it's broken down. What's the initial capital injection? We can see here the daily volume that we'd have to meet to be able to hit the KPIs to make the business a success. And then we've got the operating cost structure as well, the breakdown between fixed costs and variable costs. And because this is a collaborative document, when we click on Canvas, I can go in here and go, actually, I think that's going to be 7,000. And then we're going to update that to 7,000. And that's the latest document. We can also ask Gemini, research this and where did you get that piece of information from? How do we know it's going to be 4,000? And then it will give you the answer on that as well. So it's really great to collaborate in this space. So now that we've got the branding document done, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into creating the logo. Now that we've got the strategy document, we want to create the face of the brand. We want to create the logo. We're going to give it a prompt to take on the role of an expert graphic designer who's got experience in designing cafe logos all across London. It will take the information from the branding document, the colors, the feel, and it will come up with a logo that is relevant to the business that we're trying to create. So let's create the logo. And it's come up with this really nice, clean design that matches the brand, matches the guidelines. We can also play around with this. We could tell it to change the colors. We could tell it to change the nebula around the coffee bean itself, and it'll update those live with us. So we've got a few different options that we can test out and see what fits best with our brand. But I really like this, so we're going to stick with this logo. And next we can move on to the landing page, the website. To create the website, I want to use something like GoDaddy or Hostinger, and this is an HTML website that we're going to create, and then we can copy and paste that into the host site. We're going to tell it to take on the role of an expert graphic designer who's got experience in designing minimalist websites for sophisticated coffee brands. When we click this, it will generate the HTML code, and it will also give us a preview, and I'll show you that once it's finished. This is the website it's come up with. I absolutely love it. It's minimalist, it's clean, it's got the values that we've been talking about throughout the strategy document. I'd want to visit this cafe, and all of the links over here work as well. So we've just gone from creating a strategy document to a logo to a landing page. All I'd need to do with this now is copy and paste the HTML code that it's generated and put it into a host website, and it will look exactly like this. And we can always tweak it and play around with the wording as well if we like to. As an example, we might want it to fit with our branding a little bit more on our values. So we're going to change that top bit from fueling ambition to fueling the community. And it's now switched it to fueling community, building ambition. I actually don't like this, so I might revert it back. But you can just see here, it was very intelligent because it picked up that this was building community and I wanted to change this to fueling community, and it would have repeated the word. So it intelligently updated both parts so it didn't repeat the word. I actually prefer the other way. 10 minutes ago, Nebula Roast was just an idea. Now we've got a strategic roadmap, a brand identity, and a deployable landing page. We didn't just search for answers, we built something. This is the major shift that I've seen. When you stop treating AI just like a chatbot and you start treating it like a creative partner, a collaborator, the friction disappears. You can move from what if to here it is in a single session, just like we have. Try this workflow on your next idea. Don't just ask questions, build the project. And if this architecture helps you see the potential, like and subscribe. I'll be breaking down more workflows next week. And if you're still not sure what artificial intelligence is, you can see my previous video linked to here. Thank you for watching, and let's learn and build together.